Yo fam, happy Monday guys. Decent week in the markets last week. We saw Bitcoin drop to around the 57,700. We then ended up close to 64,000. Now we're starting a red candle. Now, as you could see on the title and the thumbnail today, I do want to speak around a warning sign. I am seeing bearish divergence in play. So there is a higher low on the RSI and a lower low on the chart, which means that if there is a rejection here and we don't get through 64, we could actually see a nice fat red candle in the next day. And as well as the RSI sitting at the top. Now, the reason why I'm saying warning is because before we're wanting to jump in too quickly, right, or possibly load up in too many positions, I do think there's a possibility of better entries. Now, I am someone that has been long in the market, and I am longing the next higher low bounce. What we're looking for is a higher low. Now, in today's stream, I want to speak around a bunch of entries and where I see us pulling back, okay, as well as the danger zones if we want to break the lows as well. Right, so a lot of altcoin entries, Bitcoin itself as well. I want to speak a little bit around the stock markets and where that's sitting as well. So Mondays is a time for us to prepare the charts for the week, prepare the strategy, as well as preparing the next trade setups. And one thing that I've learned as well is as this market starts to speed up, it is important that you slow down. Be patient, time your trades, and get the best trades in the market. Do me a favor, smash up the like button, smash the subscribe button. I'm wasting time. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like sniper. Welcome to Sheldon Show.
And brand channel, hit the subscribe. How are we doing, guys? Let me know. Are you long from last week? So again, last week I spoke around a couple of entries in the market. This was entries that I was paying attention to, Bitcoin. Right, so today, not only am I going to speak around possibly new entries, I'm also going to speak around what to do with current entries. Right, we started to see some growth from the bottom. These were the zones that I was paying attention to for some buys. Right, as you can see, the ETH buy went really good. Actually hit the TP1 that I set. Right, you can see a bunch of trades started to play out nicely. We actually had the soul breakouts that happened here at 71, 72. So there's a lot to speak around when it comes to obviously updating trades, as well as new setups to pay attention to. Now, the first thing I want to start off with is I do want to speak around the weekly close. Now, we are seeing a bit of interest. Now, when it comes to volume, not a crazy amount of volume, right? So it wasn't like a massive volume spike. However, good candle, right? We always want to see this engulfing. And if you look at this, we could actually see that the bulls won, right? If you go back and look at a couple of weeks, right, it's been a while since the bulls won. If you look at the first time we engulfed the candle, right, it was this time over here in March, right? And you can see the moment we engulfed, we actually saw Bitcoin go from 66,000 back to 82,000, right? So the first sign here is on a higher time frame view here. Are we seeing some reversal? Are we seeing some strength? Okay, and what you can see here is this was a good candle, and it was our first engulfing candle we have not seen in a while. Okay, now the next thing is it is slightly full, which means there is a possibility of a bit of a start of redness in the beginning of the week. Okay, and there is an opportunity of this actually being absorbed and turning green by the end of the week. Okay, there's also a very clear resistance right now at 63, 64,000, right? These previous closing candle weekly lows, right? After that, there's a squeeze all the way back up to the 60,000s, if not higher, right? If you look after that, the next big wall is sitting at 65, 66,000. That's kind of where we stopped the last time. Okay, so when it comes to this, it's actually showing us that we could see a week of start off red and actually turn green later on into the week. That's one scenario. Where we don't want to see this week, right, is we don't want to see this entire candle get absorbed, right? We don't want to see an engulfing red candle, right? We're seeing a red candle and we see a weekly close below 59,000. That's quite bearish. That does then open the doors to that area of the late 40,000s, if not the early 40,000. Remember, the big supports that are next for Bitcoin is sitting closer to $39,000 to $42,000, right? It's not promised, okay, but we'll have the warning sign. So the weekly is the important one to pay attention to. The next thing also kind of to pay attention to is just the pattern we are forming here, right? You can just see that we are making a descending type of wedge. So that is bullish, right? By us making slower, lower highs, lower lows, right? But slowing down, accumulating, that can be absorbed pretty quick a little bit later on in the year. Now, chart to pay attention to is this one over here, which is USDT dominance, right? I just showed you guys the possibilities or the options that we can see, right? Engulfing candle, if we're going to turn bear, and obviously bullish is we have a slight bit of redness and then we turn into green. Now, this chart helps me with the rest of the plans for the week. So the first thing is obviously paying attention to the pattern that we were forming, right? Over this 2 months or so, right, we saw this pattern start to form, an uprising wedge. Now, remember, guys, we want this chart to go down to be bullish. right? Up is bearish, okay? And this did lose support last week. So when it comes to the mid-time frame views of the markets, this is a good sign, right? Good sign that we are all the way from May, right? The momentum that we've been carrying of the market going to the downside has started to break. And what it's also doing is if you look at the pattern here and you draw the trends, right? The one trend's the 26th of May, second one is the 1st of June, third one is the 15th of June, and then we have the 22nd of June, right? Those are the lows that you can put to get a key trend line. Okay, you can see there's a bit of a space to where we are now to the trend line, as well as horizontal resistances. So what that's indicating for me, right, is now going back to Bitcoin chart and moving to the daily time frame, right, is this over here. So if we look at where the stochastic RSI is, we're sitting at the top, right? Now, again, this could do anything like this. This could do anything like this, right? It can play all different types of ways. Nonetheless, it is right at the top right now, right? We're sitting at the RSI sitting at 98%. So very likely we could see a day or two, right, or a fast big day, right, of us actually starting to pull this down. Okay, so that's one warning sign again, just to say paying attention to. The next one obviously is the bearish divergence, right? So it's very clear here we are seeing highs over here, okay, which means that momentum-wise and sentiment-wise we're getting there. Okay, but you want to see a correlation between the RSI and the chart. Okay, so if you look at the chart itself, we're not getting there. Okay, and we've seen this before because that is where we saw traps last time of the market actually having a strong rejection. And we actually had it in these areas here that forced the second wave over here. Now, again, we need to pay attention because technically we are still making new lows, right? And the question is, are we going to actually come down for a new possible low, right? So we're making low highs, or we're coming in for a new low. But that's something to pay attention to. Nonetheless, a bearish divergence view like this basically looks at between today and tomorrow, we actually see redness down to this area over here. Now, bullish scenario when we get here, right? This is the first scenario. I will speak around a breakout. It doesn't go there at all. We just go up, right? But this is the first scenario that I am playing to this week. Is a pull down to this area of the 60,000, right? And a higher low bounce. And from there, I do see us make our way to the 70,000 over a week or two. Right, that's the first. So again, we have, if we take a Fibonacci from the bottom to the top over here, you'll see the levels. Right, we have this area of 61,000. We also have the area of 60,200. Those are two big levels. This is the area that I want to see. It's got horizontal over here. Okay, and it's very likely, if I just look at yesterday's candle, okay, that we could actually see it within the next 24 hours. We could actually see this candle just get a bit big. Right, and then after that, probably two smaller green candles and start making our way to the upside. That's the bullish scenario that I'm keeping in play. Okay, what I am going to be doing is I am very much going on a strong trading hunt, right? So I am looking for a little bounce here soon on the 1 hour down. I am looking for a trend, so pay attention this week, guys. I have loaded up. I'm putting in some size back into the markets. I'm ready to go. I've spent a lot of time this year reworking strategies, a lot of time trading smaller accounts, a lot of time these things. I've loaded up 50K and I'm going for it. I got a nice chunk to be making up. So I'm going to be unlocking this over the next couple of days. So pay attention this week, be involved. It's going to be a lot of fun. Me looking to grow his account. What's the goals on the account? 500 is the goal. But let's see how that basically plays. But I've learned that this market speeding up, I can't chase things, right? I have to be really, really calculated on trades. So for me, I do have that scenario of us coming down over here, right? But I do want to see something like this. I'm hoping it does happen over 2-3 days, and that will be the signal over here. Okay, bearish, guys, again, we start getting below this area here. That's where we come into to bear play. Now, the next scenario, which is we actually don't go down there. Okay, that would mean that we would actually hold the breakout that we have made. Okay, so if you look at the breakout, we actually did break a trend to the upside, right? The key thing was Bitcoin getting above 62,500, and we actually did that. Not only that, I think we started off the week with us pushing slightly up, right? So if we look at where we are now, there is a scenario where we actually hold this early 62,000s, right, and start moving our way to the upside. Okay, if that is so, what I am waiting for is I do think we will see a bounce. I do think it'll low, and I do think there'll be something like this. So there'll be some opportunities in the next 24 hours to catch that play. Okay, now a couple of other factors to keep in eyes over here is liquidity. This is showing us liquidity at 60. There's liquidity at 62,300, there's liquidity at 61,600, and there's liquidity all the way down to the lower 61,000s. Right, so even liquidity is kind of agreeing that to say, hey, don't be surprised if this scenario comes into play. And again, we come down here, we hold, guys, big longs, big longs that I'm paying attention to. Okay, it's the same thing, the USDT dominance, right? Look at the USDT dominance as I spoke here, right? This is the chart that for me tells me, hey, we could see this nice and strong up over here and then down. So again, pull back into zones and then acceleration of the market to the upside. When it comes to altcoins, alts are also in they're slightly stronger than Bitcoin right now. They're definitely seeing some strength, okay? But if it's quite clear where the altcoin breakout happened, and it's quite clear where the support is sitting. So for me, altcoins, I'm looking to buy here on the key trends that they started breaking out. All right, so what that looks like again in the market, you look at ETH. ETH's looking good. We'll obviously see how aggressive. I do think there's a chance that the Bitcoin dominance actually goes up on the pullback, which means when the bounce happens, very likely to go down. So I think we're going to have a strong altcoin reaction once we are done the pullback. But if we look at the areas of where I see ETH pulling back to, is possibly here to the mid 1600s to the late 1600s, right? This is where I'm paying attention for buys for now, right? Look at things like Solana, I'm looking at pullback back down to the mid 70s. Right? I'm looking at Injective. Looking a little bit weaker. We'll see how it does over the next day or two. There could be a chance of catching this 4.3, 4.4. Now, again, guys, as we come down, I'm not opening tons of leverage positions. I'm buying spot, I'm buying long-term, right? But once I see a clear trend come into play, so very likely by Wednesday-ish, right, we see breakouts, I'm going to be longing a lot in the market, right? Which gets me to the next point, guys. There is a lot of good opportunities on Bitfunded at the moment. There's a link below. There's some specials running at the moment. I don't know, Maddie, what's the special right now? Do we buy one, get one free? What do we get? But I'm about to pass another funded, so I'm busy unlocking fundeds. So there's an opportunity for, remember, this cost me $1,400 and I pass this, I get to trade with 700K, right? And I can keep 80% of the profit. So there's a link below in the description. You guys want to join up on a Bitfunded there. Okay, AVAX, I'm looking for AVAX down here. So again, bottom trend in play here. This is where I'm paying attention to AVAX entries. When it comes to render, I'm looking at render down here at these 1.5s zones over here. So all I'm doing is take the fib from the bottom to the top and looking for 618, 0.5 to 618 to retest. Gives you an idea of the size of the pullback that we are seeing over here. Okay, so again, the important thing here is, do I see new lows? Not yet. So what do I do with current positions? So let's go back over here. For me, guys, current positions, we should not be coming back really into the 60,000s. So likeliness of me basically putting my, if I take a Fibonacci from bottom to top, right, I'm possibly looking at moving my stop losses, right? Again, it all depends on the room, right? But I'm definitely moving my stops up to the areas of around 58,700 on Bitcoin, right? If you go to ETH and you take the Fibonacci, I'm talking about if you want to hold for the bigger move, right? ETH, I'm looking at around 1570, right? Stops from here to here. Just remove some of that risk from all these earlier entries, basically close to entry prices, right? That is the play when it comes to those over there. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else when it comes to that? Guys, remember we've got newsletters. So we got Good Morning Crypto by Crypto Banter. Okay, so it's linked below in the description. You guys want free newsletters every day. There's yes fundamentals for you guys. And then we have the daily candle. Right? All the different charts we're seeing on a day-to-day basis for free for you guys. Great information, great charts on the hottest altcoins and topics in the market. So that is also there in the description below. Make sure you're on Sniper Trading this week, as we are going to have extra shows come into play. Every day, shows are coming outside of the banter shows as well. We dropped a cool show yesterday. Missing piece that finally made me profitable. Nice show that is up over there, so go check that out. And that's it, guys. Have a fantastic day. Smash up the like. See you guys tomorrow. Guys, big week. Dedicate this week. Come with your coffee. Come every day. Dedicate this week. Big week. Entries incoming. Let's be patient for them. Let's wait to see what today brings us. And then there's a lot of trades in the market. Have a great day. Lots of love. Bye-bye.